We know that when we're working on a difficult subject that we're trying to learn, it can be hard to just dive into it right off the bat, especially if it's boring, right? We don't really want to pay attention. We have a hard time learning it because it's just not very interesting to us and we're not very engaged. Same as if we're trying to do something in a very distracting environment, right? It's a challenge to do math homework if there's a bunch of noise playing, there's kids running everywhere, we're outside at the park and there's a bunch of stuff going on, there's a party, there's an event. It's hard to focus, right? It's the same with our dogs. And it's not really fair for us to expect them to recreate the things that they can do at home really easily, like those sits and those downs and all of that, in a new and distracting and really interesting environment. It's also not really fair to expect them to be enthusiastic about the work if they're not interested in it. So I always like to warm up for a couple of minutes before I start a training session or when I'm in a new environment that's kind of distracting and has a lot of other interesting things going on. What I'll do is I'll get the dog engaged with me, right? So all I'm going to do is a little bit of work to make him interested in actually training and listening and focusing on me. Luckily with Winston, that's pretty easy. He's really social. He really enjoys his people. He enjoys play, affection, food. So it's pretty simple to get him in touch with us, even when we're in some place that's a little bit distracting. So with him, I'm going to use a lot of movement. I'm going to use a lot of affection. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to let him know that I want his attention. I'm going to let him know that I am about to start doing something or asking him something. So he should get ready. He should get excited. He should get focused with me. So I'll say his name. As soon as he looks at me, I'm going to reward with that marker word, yes, to get him excited, to get him up close to me. I'll reward him a couple times. And I'll try to use a lot of movement to, again, get him very engaged with me and follow me and have a lot of fun with it. I might even give a few treats in a row, especially to start with. I'll just jackpot him with a few in a row so that he's really focused on me. And once I know that he's watching me, he knows I've got good stuff for him, he wants to work, he's pretty excited about it, then I can start asking for the behaviors that I want. I really prefer doing this and getting their focus and getting some excitement out of them or just some interest out of them than correcting for being distracted. There's a place for that, and sure, we'll do that. But in general, I want the dog to want to work with me and I want them to want to do the work. And with Winston, it's pretty easy to get him to do stuff if he wants to, if he's having fun with you. So we can use that to our advantage pretty easily. So all it's going to look like, I've got treats in my pocket, right? I've got a toy with me too, is I'm just going to say his name. He looks at me. Yes, I'm going to back up and I'm going to reward. Winston. Hey, are you napping now? Winston. Yes, there we go. Good boy. Good boy. You can see he wasn't really ready to work right off the bat. So I wanted to get him back with me, let him know that it's not nap time. I wanted him to do something. I was ignoring him for a minute, so he was like, fine, I'll just lay down and take a nap. So I want to let him know that now I'm ready for him to work. I'm going to ask for some stuff. Winston. Yes, good boy. That's a good boy. That's a good boy. You good dog? You good dog. I'm using a lot of food with him, but we don't have to with him. He really likes just affection, so I can just rub his face, rub his back and his belly. Come on, good boy. And then just back up. Come on. Good boy. That's a good boy. Winston. That's a good boy. Good dog. Winston. Good boy. That's a good boy. What do you want? Good. And you can see he loves doing downs. So now that he knows that I'm asking something of him, that we're working together, he's starting to offer behaviors to me, which is awesome. That's what I want to see, is him start to go, is this right? Is this what we're doing? Is this what we're practicing? Good. I may even, to start, good. Just reward him offering some random behaviors without asking. Good. And that way, when I do start asking for actual behaviors, he's already warmed up with them. He's already prepped. He's already done them a few times. Good. And here I don't really have to worry about stays because I'm not asking him to go down and stay. He's just doing stuff on his own because he thinks it's a good time. So I don't care if he stays when he's doing it. I'll enforce those when I actually ask for a down. But I'm not going to enforce it when he's just doing it on his own. Yes. I'll mark for eye contact. I'll mark yes and reward for eye contact. Yes. 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 Again, I can do a few rewards in a row, and I really want to use that movement to my advantage to get him focused with me. Yes. This is going to be your best bet when there's distractions like other dogs, people. I'll always start with this before I move on to corrections. Unless, he's barking, he's super distracted, then I might correct and then work on this. But this is always what I want to try first. And if he's just really not into it, I'll go into something else. But this works pretty well for him. Yes. You can also use this if you're having a training session and he's starting to get kind of bored, he starts to wander off. When he gets confused, he gets kind of frustrated and he'll just try to leave. So this can be a good thing to do if that happens to you. He starts to wander off. He's like, I don't get it. I'm just going to go in the other room. I might get him back to me, do some more engagement, and get him back wanting to work before I ask him to start doing those challenging things again. Yes. Are you a good boy? No. Are you a good boy? Toys. 2. Down. Yes. Good boy. Yes. That's a good dog. Are you a good dog? This is also a great way to end the training session. So it can be a warm-up and a cool-down. And if you cool down this way, then it'll leave him with a very good impression of working, very good impression of training, and leave him very excited for it the next time around. Studies have also shown that playing can help solidify what they've learned and what they've practiced. That's another good reason to play a little bit or have a little bit of fun after your training session. Yes. Good boy.